Greetings. Welcome to our February virtual book party. My name is Melissa Depper and I will be your host today. Our librarian team has been offering these book party programs once a month, and we thought it would be really fun to do them for picture books too. So most months we'll have a picture book party on the first Tuesday of the month and a regular book party on the third Tuesday, and you can find the information on the virtual events tab of arapaholibraries.org, just like you did for this one. So how our program works today is that we have 5 different presenters from our Child and Family Library Services Department and our Storytime Specialist team, and they're each going to talk about 5 books. They each have just about a minute to talk about their books, but don't worry, you don't need to write anything down. I'll be sending you out a list of the books to your email afterwards. Just as a reminder, and I'm reminding myself now that we are going to record this meeting, so I'm getting that started now. But the only thing that you will see in the recording is our slides and our faces. We won't see you and we won't see the chat. If you have any questions during the program, either tech support things or questions or even comments about the books, please feel free to put them in the chat. And Molly, one of our early literacy librarians, will respond to you as soon as she can. You'll see a couple of slides for each book and then a time reminder slide, which will try to help us keep on track. And we'll see if we can stay without not chat too many times during the during our presentation. I am going to have all of our presenters introduce themselves. Please say your name and your position at the library, and Amika, please get us started.
Hi, I'm Amika and I'm a Storytime Specialist.
Hi, I'm Lori and I'm a Storytime Specialist.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth and I'm a Storytime Specialist.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm the Children and Family Library Specialist Lead.
Hi everybody, I'm Michelle and I'm a Storytime Specialist.
Fabulous, thank you everyone. Go ahead and mute yourselves now until it's time to share your book. Our theme for tonight's books is Titles for Our Times. We're all coming up on a year of COVID being in our lives, and it's given us all a lot to deal with. And we wanted to pull together some recommendations for picture books that help our kiddos think and deal with all sorts of feelings, highlight books that showcase some of the ways that families can still enjoy having fun together, and even talk about 1 or 2 books that reference the pandemic experience more directly. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and Amika will be going first.
Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here talking about more wonderful books, especially books that are wonderful to have around right now. Alone Together, A Tale of Friendship and Hope is written and illustrated by Julia Seal. DK Publishing put it out in December of 2020, and I think this timing is linked to the fact that this book directly addresses the quarantine state that pretty much all of us have experienced during the pandemic. I like how it gently but directly addresses the fact that this is not a normal time for kids, whose normal daily routines probably include getting together with friends for activities. Miss Seal uses her words and pictures to illustrate things to do that kids can enjoy on their own despite social distancing, just like in this picture. And yes, there might be confusing and different feelings about that. Her 2 main characters, a boy and a girl, are living in different households, and they are shown having to adjust to be indoors a lot more right now. And we get to see and hear about some of the things they choose to do. Now, eventually, the 2 main characters do actually get to interact with each other in a pretty creative way, while still apart, but I won't give it away. Suffice to say that the whole book wraps around to a message that even though it feels like we're alone in this, we are all social distancing together.
One of my favorite books this year is When My Brother Gets Home by Tom Lichtenheld. I like this for ages preschool to about 2nd grade. Charming illustrations and rich vocabulary add to the wonder of the story. Anticipating her brother getting home from school on the bus, A young girl thinks of everyday items for them to use for their adventures while she waits. She plans for them to climb Kilimanjaro, explore a rainforest, and fly a jumbo jet. As she is thinking and imagining, the bus gets closer and closer to home. What do you think she uses for a castle or for the jumbo jet? Where will they practice their Olympic dives and wrestle an alligator? Read this book and you will see all the ways the siblings use their imagination. This is a beautiful story of sibling love and creativity.
All right, this is The Rabbit Listened. It's written and illustrated by Corey Dorfeld. Taylor is building with blocks when all of a sudden a bunch of crows come and knock them down. I think a lot of us can relate to how Taylor feels when the blocks are knocked down. Some animals come along and suggest how Taylor should respond. Does Taylor want to talk about it, shout about it, hide and pretend that it never happened? However, none of these ideas seem to help Taylor until the rabbit comes along. I especially love the page where the rabbit sits down next to Taylor. This is an excellent book to talk about different emotions someone might feel in a bad situation. With a soft and gentle tone, it is reassuring and ultimately hopeful. This book would pair well with talking about the 5 stages of grief. I recommend this book for ages 4 to 6.
My first book is Let's Dance by Valerie Bowling and illustrated by Maine Diaz. This book will get your toddlers and preschoolers up on their feet, dancing the day away. With its fun, easy writing style, tappity tap, fingers snap, Let's Dance takes you on a fun trip through the world of dance. Ballet, breakdancing, the cha-cha, the flamingo. And it's also accompanied by fun illustrations so kids can get an idea of the costumes that go along with the dances. The end of the book has some basic information about the different dances. And on the end papers of the book, you'll also see the shoes and the musical instruments associated with the dances and can become a fun matching game for kids. So this is really great for toddlers and preschoolers and just families.
Hi, everybody. And like Erin's book, I chose a book about a journey. This is called Don't Worry, Little Crab by Chris Houghton. Chris is a wonderful children's illustrator. He also wrote books like A Little Owl Lost and Shh, We Have a Plan. This book is new in 2020, published by Candlewick Press, and I recommend it for ages 0 to 3. Little Crab and Big Crab take a trip to the ocean. Spoiler alert, they get there. But Little Crab has a lot of anxiety and trepidation about getting on the way. And Big Crab is there to reassure him and let them know that it's okay. And we'll just go slowly and take our time and we'll get there eventually. Also, visually, you can tell by the screen share, this book is just gorgeous. It's wonderfully illustrated. A great book to read for all families and anytime for anybody that needs a little bit of encouragement, especially in this time. I think it's a really great book. Another couple of recommendations that I have for encouraging children's books. One is called What Do You Do with a Problem by Kobe Yamada. And the other one is called You Are Safe With Me by Chitra Soundar.
Hi there. Let's see, unmute myself. All right, my second book to share. My second pick is called Counting Our Blessings by Emma Dodd. She did the illustrations too. It was published by Templar Books in 2020. Dodd has published many sweet books dealing with feelings and family, but this one is especially timely. Counting up from 1 to 10, it lists concepts that no matter what circumstances you happen to be in, you can internalize at least one or more of these ideas as something to be appreciated in life, even during the difficulties of a pandemic. Like right here, sunshine, beautiful. Her illustrations and phrasing are simple, gentle, and sweet. Those things combined really make this book feel like it was written for our youngest readers, 0 to 5 maybe. But as an adult, I found myself counting my blessings too.
I'm Happy Sad Today by Lori Britton, illustrated by Matthew Rivera. This book works well for ages 3 to 8. It helps build vocabulary for children to name and talk about their feelings. I love that the illustrations are of diverse children and grown-ups. We know kids have big feelings and may have conflicting feelings at the same time. Kids will feel validated when they read about real-life scenarios that highlight their own feelings. How have you felt meeting someone new? Or do you remember when friends didn't let you play with them? What about going to your first sleepover? All these situations can create conflicting feelings. This book has many made-up words for feeling 2 different emotions at the same time. Shappy for shy and happy, smad, sad and mad, and my favorite is braverous, brave and nervous. Your kids will enjoy making up their own words. There is a guide for adults to help children express their feelings, to assist with engaging in conversation, and to help support children's social emotional development.
Okay, my next book is called Stick. It's written and illustrated by Irene Dixon. Are you looking for simple activities to do outdoors? Then this book is perfect for you. It follows a boy who explores everything that you can do with a stick. He tries drawing with it, making it into a flag, and throwing it for his dog. With simple sentences and appealing pictures, the story is just right for 2 and 3-year-olds. This book might take you back to your childhood. It reminded me of when I was little and made mud soup by stirring mud with a stick. My favorite page is when the boy drops the stick in a creek and watches how fast and how far the stick goes. I really love this author illustrator and highly recommend her other book, which is called Blocks.
My next book is Layla's Happiness by Mariah Dessa Ekritali and illustrated by Ashley Coyne. This is one of my favorite books from 2020 and makes me smile every time I read it. In the book, Layla tells you about all the things that make her happy. I enjoy the fun, poetic quality of the book and that the things that make Layla happy are attainable and some of the simpler things in life. Planting a tomato seed, watching her friends' parents dance, or listening to her father's stories about growing up in South Carolina. The last page of the book invites you to think about all the things that make you happy. A fun and happy book for toddlers, preschoolers, and beyond.
Okay, my next book is called Confiscated. And I chose it because maybe some kiddos in our audience have a brother or a sister at home who sometimes wants the same toy that they have, and it's really hard to work together and share. This book tells the story of Brooks and Mikey, who don't always get along. In fact, they fight over a lot of things, and every single time they fight over a toy, their mom takes it away, aka she confiscates it. I think this is a wonderful book for ages 3 through 7 or anybody who has a sibling. And it's very, very charming because eventually Brooks and Mikey end up with 0 toys. Mom has confiscated everything and they need to learn how to work together to get that toy cupboard opened up and get all their toys out again.
Meditate with Me, a step-by-step mindfulness journey written by Miriam Gates and illustrated by Margarita Cernate, was published in 2017. Gates has written quite a few books for children dealing with mindful breathing practices, yoga, and the like over the last few years. I especially like how this book, step by step, just like it says, invites little ones to focus on how their bodies feel while they are emotionally feeling something. And it encourages them to concentrate on breathing and settle the busyness in their heads. This book made me feel peaceful and centered just reading it without even doing the motions. But I can see how much more beneficial it would be for little ones to do with their grown-ups. This book is written in such a way that you could really enjoy it with toddlers all the way up to elementary school kiddos.
The Big Sibling Getaway is written and illustrated by Corey Lear. It's great for ages 4 to 7. Feeling she needs to escape from the noise of her home life, a little girl uses her imagination along with a leftover box to practice self-care. The box becomes her transportation over land, sea, air, and into space. How do you think she feels? She may feel creative or possibly lonely and bored. I wonder what caused Cassie to feel she needed a break and if it's something she might want to head back home to. Read this sweet story and you will find out. The illustrations are beautiful and the story emphasizes the importance of relationships. If you like The Big Sibling Getaway, check out You Are the Biggest by Lucy Tapper and Swash Bee in the Sea by Beth Ferry.
This is Lola Plants a Garden. It's written by Anna McQuinn and illustrated by Rosalind Beardshaw. I was drawn to this book because I love flower gardens and because of the diverse characters. When Lola hears the poem of Mary, Mary, Quite Contrary, she gets interested in having a garden. I like that this book goes through the step-by-step process of Lola going with her mom to the library, yay libraries, to learn how to care for a garden, and then buying the seeds, planting the seeds, tending the garden, and waiting for the garden to grow. The best page is when Lola looks to see what has grown. This book encourages kids to help in their own gardens. I would recommend this book for ages 4 to 6. If you like this book, I would highly recommend the other books the author has written in the Lola series, and also the series about Lola's brother, Leo.
My next book is Love, Sophia on the Moon by Annika Morris Rissy and illustrated by Mika Song. Life on Earth is unfair. Timeouts, bedtimes, it's just hard. And Sophia has had enough. She writes a letter to her mom explaining that she's running away to the moon. The moon doesn't have rules. It's great. The book continues with a series of letters between Sophia and her mom. Sophia, of course, explaining the perks of living on the moon, while mom's letters back show concern about Sophia being gone, but also respecting Sophia's decision, and a few subtle hints and funny hints, like reminding her that the moon doesn't have cookies, about how life back on Earth isn't so bad. The illustrations also help to tell you the story and what has happened and what is truly happening throughout the story.
Okay, my next book is called From My Window. The author is Ottavio Jr. and the illustrator is Vanina Starkov. This book is published by Barefoot Books, which is a publishing house that is very committed to own voices and diverse books. This is no exception. Ottavio is from Brazil. He lives in Rio de Janeiro, and Vanina grew up in Argentina. So this tells the story of a young man who is recording everything he can see from his window in his neighborhood. And as you can see, it's another beautifully illustrated book, bright colors, every page just has a lot that you can talk about with your child. And most importantly, there's a word that I've never heard before in the book called favela. If you'd like to know what favela means, you could check out the book. You'd find this at the Arapahoe Library's More to Explore picture book section. And if you're also interested in more city books, a couple that I could definitely recommend. One is Small in the City by Sydney Smith. The other is called Wait, and the author is Antoinette Portis.
I Don't Want to Be Quiet by Laura Ellen Anderson came out in December of 2020, published by Philomel Books. And although not wanting to be quiet can apply to children everywhere, all the time, I thought it was especially timely right now when little ones are expected to share space with working parents or brothers and sisters who need to study, or just having the whole family at home and someone might want to take a nap. The protagonist is a lively little girl who is having trouble wrapping her head around the concept of quiet fun. But then she makes a discovery. I won't give it away. This book is written in rhyme and is really a cheerful read, thanks not only to the writing, but the illustration style of Laura Ellen Anderson, who did both. I think readers aged 3 to 10 will get a kick out of it, and parents will certainly relate while also getting in some giggles of their own.
Next, I'd like to recommend Tamara Orr's Feeling series. The nonfiction series is appropriate for ages 4 to 7. I appreciate the diverse photographs for kids to see themselves in the pages and make connections with the book. Some of the feelings highlighted in the series are ones many of us have felt during the past year: fear, shyness, anger, maybe even some excitement. Bedtime, darkness, shadows, the closet. All might be triggers for children to have sleep issues and to be afraid. Hiding under the covers, hearing your own loud heartbeat, and yelling for a grown-up are appropriate common responses. Tamara Orr does an amazing job highlighting feelings and offering tips to adults for asking questions and opening dialogue for kids to share their own feelings. Each book has a glossary and other recommendations. I also like a similar book, Feelings Like Mine, by Marie-Therese Miller.
Okay, this is Hooray for Hat. It's written and illustrated by Brian Wan. Elephant wakes up grumpy. I love the page where he has an angry black cloud over his head and comes stomping down the stairs. I can really relate to how he is feeling there. But when Elephant receives a present, he feels better and wants to help when others are feeling badly. What I like about this book is that it has repetitive, fun sentences that keep the reader interested and invested in reading. This book shows the value of friends caring for each other in hard situations. At the end of the book, you could encourage your child to make something for their friends and family members. I recommend this book for ages 4 to 6. If you like this book, check out the author's other books in this series called Hooray for Books and Hooray for Today.
The Don't Worry book, written and illustrated by Todd Parr. What I love about this book is how the author lays out things that people worry about. I think it helps kids see that they're not alone in their worries, meeting new people, dogs, noises, the dark. There are so many worries, so what can we do about them? In the second half of the book, Parr helps you come up with strategies for helping you cope with your worries. This book is perfect for preschoolers and early grade school students with its bright and colorful illustrations, but it will also appeal to older students for its practical advice. You might also want to try other books by Parr, especially It's Okay to Make Mistakes and the Feelings book.
Hey, my next choice is also wonderfully illustrated. This is Hike by Pete Oswald. It tells the story, and it really does tell the story in pictures. There aren't very many words in this book, but to be honest, you don't really miss them. It's beautifully illustrated, as you can tell. Lots of little illustrations and big panoramas. And this is a story of a father and son who take off for the mountains one day and have a hike. You can tell that they're doing other things. This is a wonderful springboard for one of our literacy skills, talking with your child about what they see on the page. And can they tell you the story just by the illustrations? I recommend this book highly for littles, kids that aren't reading yet, anyone who sits on your lap and says, no, I want to read the book, but they don't know how to read just yet. this is a terrific book for them. Kirkus Review says, like The Woods, this book is an immersive experience that invites repeated visits.
What to Do with a Box, written by Jane Yolen and illustrated by Chris Shiben, was published in 2016, but it is a great read for 2020 and 2021. If you ever needed to be entertained by stuff around the house, now is the time. Usual toys boring? Well, if you happen to have a big cardboard box at home, you have a new toy times 1,000 to start having creative fun by yourself or whoever you live with. This book is written in an easy rhyming cadence that invites you to take in the illustrations and gives you ideas about how you can make your imagination take you anywhere. Your box could be a space shuttle. The walls of the box could be a jungle you colored yourself, and untold more possibilities. This book is probably written for preschoolers in mind, but toddlers and elementary school age kids would get some ideas too. It might be nice for grown-ups to read with their little ones, so they might be poised to suggest a post-read activity with one of the assorted boxes that is around the house right now.
My final book is Waiting Together by Danielle Dufayet, illustrated by Somali Bassani. I recommend this one for preschool to about 3rd grade. Throughout the past year, most of us have been waiting for something. It may be to see our families, to play with friends, to hug somebody, or even go to the library for story time. It may be waiting for a special brother to get home. What does waiting feel like? Some waits go fast, lickety split. Others are slow, clickety clack, or even slower. Drip, drip, drip. No matter how hard we try, we can't make waiting go any faster. This story helps kids understand waiting and helps teach them patience. There are diverse characters, beautiful illustrations, and an encouraging ending. If you like this one, the author also wrote Fantastic You and You Are Your Strong, both excellent reads.
My last book is Not a Box. It's written and illustrated by Antoinette Portis. When Rabbit is seen playing with a box, he insists that it is not a box. But then, what is it? Is it a mountain, or a robot, or a race car? I love the page where the rabbit pretends that the box is a rocket ship. This book encourages the use of imagination. It's also a great lead-in to your kids playing with boxes you might have around the house. And did you know that this book won a Geisel Honor Award, which is an award for beginning reader books? Check out the other Geisel Award winners if this book is a good fit for your child. This book would be great for 2 to 6 years old. If you like this book, check out Not a Stick by the same author.
My last book is Breathe Like a Bear, 30 Mindful Moments for Kids to Feel Calm and Focused Anytime, Anywhere, by Kira Wiley and illustrated by Annie Betts. This is a nonfiction book, but children will enjoy the fun animal illustrations throughout this book as they are learning techniques to help them calm down, find focus, and relax. It is really a fun way for children to be introduced to the concepts of mindfulness. The activities throughout the book are fun and imaginative and will seem like a game. The book itself is divided into 5 sections: Be Calm, Focus, Imagine, Make Some Energy, and Relax. Kids will be engaged and are sure to find a few of their favorite techniques. And one of my favorite techniques in the book, and I use when I need to calm down, is imagine you are a cloud in the sky.
All right, my last book is Go Get 'em Tiger by Sabrina Moyle and illustrated by Eunice Moyle. They are sisters who originally started a greeting card company and have just recently branched out into children's books. I hope they write many more. This book is a wonderfully encouraging, cheerful book featuring the happiest tiger ever that just is a joy to read. It's got this great kind of 80s color vibe to it. The tiger is so excited to be on the pages of this book. It is a wonderful book for anyone who is feeling a little unsure of themselves, maybe needs a little pick me up, kids and adults. I recommend this for everybody. This has been a tough year, and just by making it through 2020, we're doing a great job. And this is a book that really kind of brings that home. It's always good to sit back a little bit and kind of take stock and realize if you're doing the best you can, you're doing awesome.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you to our panelists for your great thoughts about some great books. I will be sending out a book list to everybody at your email. The annotated list will include the titles that the other titles, the extra titles that everybody mentioned. So you'll get all of those in the list as well. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat and we'll answer them as we finish up. And I hope you'll join us next month on March 2 at 4 o'clock. We'll have another picture book party and we'll be focusing on award-winning books. There are a million picture books awards, and we would like to highlight some of those awards, some familiar ones, some ones you might not know about, and another set of really great books. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time. Thank you.